Hello, David Cotterill with AED Easy Tracker. This video is going to go over how to add users. Adding users can be done in one of two ways. We would generally like to add it from the owner's perspective, so the person in charge, the administrator who opened up this account. We do have a different way of adding users, and I'll explain that as we go. But as the main person in charge of this account, you're going to go into your locations, and this just brings you to be able to see all of your locations here, but also access these four tabs here. Adding users from here is a great way to make sure that you are able to see all of your users. I'll explain that again a little bit later as we get into this. Adding a user is simply as easy as clicking add a user. Program administrator means that they're going to have access to everything. They can add AEDs, they can request training. They have a lot of features that you as the owner of the program has. Now, if you wanted to have somebody just checking AEDs, that would be a location user. They're able to access their account, see the locations that they're in charge of, as well as check their AEDs. So as a location user, you can click on which locations you want them to have access to. So let's get rid of the Detroit. This person has no reason to have Detroit access because they're only in the Chicagoland region, servicing Lombard, Elgin, and Chicago. You'd fill out their name. Please use a non-email address user. So we typically use first initial and their last name. Give them a password. Address can be just the work address that they're at, and submit. At that point, they will become a user. You could see our user here at the top. You can see how many locations they have and what type of user they are. So this person here, John Smith, can only access their 2 locations as well as just checking AEDs. If you wanted to edit their account, you can add additional locations to their location authorizations. So here we have now John Smith has 3 locations. Now if we go into, if I were to log in as a program administrator of Detroit, I could add location users just to this specific location. So they're only going to be showing up within the Detroit location. What that means is any user added while you're in the Detroit location section can only be a Detroit location user. What this does is it gives the person who's in charge of Detroit the ability to add users without going through a higher level. So you don't have to contact the owner of AED Easy Tracker program for your company. You as the program administrator of Detroit can add location users so that you can then go from there. The downside of that is when you go into location users here, you would not see them. Not necessarily a bad thing, but if you are wanting to have full control over what is going on with adding users, you, the owner of this program, should be adding users from this screen as opposed to within the actual location. Again, I hope this did not make it too confusing, but the idea behind adding it in 2 different ways is when you are adding it from this page, which you can see all of your locations, allows you to see all the users, but when you add that user from the locations page, it gives that location a little bit more freedom to add users as needed without bothering anybody in the higher ups. I hope this helps.